gonna say good morning and it's literally 1 p.m. How are you guys? Happy new moon. I'm so excited about this new moon. It's actually like I need to be tranquilized. I'm so excited to be pulling up to just do a cute little offering of a manifestation meditation alongside Jessbeinspired, who is the illest Reiki master to ever exist. But thank you guys for joining in the meantime. How are you guys feeling? I'm feeling all of the things at once, but mainly, hi, thank you for joining. I'm just feeling so excited to be alive. This is such a magical day for manifestation. And so basically what we'll do today is we'll talk a little bit about very briefly what the energy is, what the vibes is, and how you could be feeling, how you can work with it. And then we'll kind of go into a little manifestation meditation. Hi. Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm just really, okay, so let me see if Jess is pulling up. But in the meantime, let me know how y'all feeling. Let me know if you're feeling the energy of Jupiter pulling up on us. Okay. Jess. Me not knowing how to work anything. Okay. I will. Yeah, so today is such a gorgeous day, especially if you have access to nature in a way that's safe. Going out to the ocean, going out to a park right now, really just connecting and vibing in spaces where you feel the most connected to God is the most gorgeous way to spend today. What do you think of Brittany J. Spanking on Beast? I don't know nothing about that, baby. I don't know nothing about that. I love you guys. Totally. So yes, today is such a beautiful day for manifestation because, and I'll get obviously more into it, but the way that Jupiter is conjoining this moon transit has so much to do with the fact that if we have placed any limitations on how large we are able and willing and capable of living our lives, this is the time to release any of those limitations and to really just be boundless when it comes to what we manifest, what we want for ourselves, what we feel deserving of. And so, yeah, I'm feeling exhausted. Yeah. I also didn't sleep that well, but I was falling asleep to That's So Raven. It's also a really beautiful time to nourish whatever your inner child wants. Jess is unable to join. Let me try again. Babe. It's the moon. There's nothing to do with you. Okay. Oh, here we go. Iconic.
Hi, loves. Sorry about that.
No,
the weather always messes with my internet, so I apologize.
Babe, I don't even know. I don't even understand. Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Is it raining? It's a little bit of everything, but same.
But I'm here and I love you. Sorry for being late.
No. Perfect. How are you feeling? Let me know what's vibes. How are you? Oh, are you also wearing a color healing shirt? I'm gonna die.
I gotta represent my girl. Hello. I love you, so I have to represent you. But honestly too, I don't know a lot about astrology. Obviously, I'm not an astrologist, but just from the things that you shared, I really felt called to wear this particular color healing tee because I have a couple of them, as you know, because I felt like this is an intuitive kind of energy that I'm sensing.
Oh my God! If I could say anything about transit, you guys have been fully active at 4 a.m. Yeah, 100%. It is, if there is any routine that you are feeling stuck in, that you are feeling stagnated by, a large theme of this moon transit is really coming back to an intuitive way of living life. And that means having a really intimate dialogue with what do I need today? How can I nourish my body in a way that is honest rather than structured and egoic? So even when it comes to moving your body, if you're someone who is abiding by a really strict weightlifting routine and you wake up one day and your body's we need to stretch, we need to walk, we need to do something that's different, really building an intimate dialogue with what your body is asking of you, not only on a physical level, but also on an emotional, last night I was if I don't watch Disney Channel for the next 2 hours, I'm gonna lose it. And I did. It's intimate dialogue. So I'm glad that you felt that, honey. You're so intimate.
I love you. And how are you doing? How are you doing with this new moon's energy?
I'm after this, I'm doing nothing for anyone but myself. I'm going to go as closely to the ocean as possible and I'll talk a little bit about why, but I just want to visualize the largest life that I am deserving of and just sit in the nectar of knowing that I've come so far, but also that there's such a I don't even know how to describe it, but there's such a pyramid of golden opportunity for my life. Because the thing about it is that this new moon is transiting or conjoining Jupiter in a way that's just like really breaking down any barriers that we have built around what we're deserving of. So like, do you feel that at all? Do you feel limitless, or are you just like, I'm tired and over it?
No, you know what's so funny is because a new moon is usually like a different type of vibe for me where it's a little bit more challenging. A full moon, I'm all about, I release, I really always connect with the full moon's energy. And that's where I think it's so beautiful because I always think about what you say, that the planets, are working for you, never against you. And so I think for me though, this particular new moon, I want to have clarity in the bigger picture.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. And the thing is, the universe responds to intention and responds to when we are clear. And of course, you want to leave room for fluidity. You want to leave room for co-creation. But like, if there's any part of you that's like, I'll take what I can get, babe, no worries. And I was listening to, I mentioned this a couple of times, but I was listening to this podcast with Jay Shetty and Alicia Keys. And
oh, what a killer combo. Damn. Oh my God.
And she was talking about how Swiss Beats really expanded her, because before she was someone who was like, I'll just take what I can get, no worries. And she thought that was her living a very humble life. And she came to realize that was sort of like this communication to the universe of like, the bare minimum is fine for me. And it is okay to want largeness, and whatever largeness looks like for you. It doesn't mean you have to like buy a Ferrari tomorrow, but if like you want the largest form of love, or like, the highest goal that you can possibly attain within your career path, you're deserving of that. And asking for that is not evading humility, but rather standing in soul sourced awareness of your worth. And so it's important that when we're manifesting, especially today, that we're doing so with clarity, that we're not just like, whatever you give me, but like that we're like, no, I want a house on the beach, or I want, a person that is going to, commit to me in a way that's very choiceful. Just whatever it looks like for you, be clear and distinct about it. So I guess
I love that, because I think that a lot of times as, people who are in this spiritual journey, that we can feel perhaps bad or guilty with really declaring what we want in even a materialistic way. And really what I have found is that when we do that, we actually aren't really providing the space of what we would do with that material, perhaps abundance, right? I think for me, if I only, received more abundance, or if I was in the bigger picture, it would just mean that I would give back in a bigger way. So I think it's actually really humbling to declare more versus letting ourselves not like be stuck in that space of lack.
Oh, yes, 100%. And it's so important to recognize that like everything in this life is just, it's neutral. It's defined by the intention behind it. And so if you are calling in money, money is not anything that is inherently dirty. It's rather defined by the intention that's behind it. So like, are you calling in money because you want to impress your social media following, or sort of have like this big dick energy? Or do you want to call in money because you want to live an easy and comfortable life, because you want to spoil those around you, because you want to,
or even invest in yourself? Like maybe like you want to take a course that you can't afford right now, but maybe if you were calling in that abundance, you get to take and enroll in whatever it is that you want to create. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to like state that.
We have to feel deserving of these things. And that brings up a gorgeous point. Wait, I'm trying to also like read comments. Alicia Keys, yes. Oh my God. I've been meaning to read her book as well. There's so many things. But that brings you to a gorgeous other theme of this moon, which is really identifying where our intentions are being sourced from, and if they're being sourced from our soul versus our ego. And I'm not one to demonize ego ever. I think we need it for survival. But when we're working, especially with Piscean energy is all about how we define divinity, how we experience God, how we see ourselves as reflection of God, right? A piece of God. So it's so important to recognize, are the things that I'm calling in alignment with my purpose, with who I am and my fullest potential, or are they egoic in terms of like, I need this from fear or survival or to impress others?
Scarcity. Yeah.
Scarcity mindset. Exactly. So yeah, I would really, when we're doing manifestations in this meditation, but also just in your own practice, really be mindful and attentive to like the why underneath everything it is that you are calling in for yourself. And don't punish yourself if you recognize that there's an egoic quality about it, right? We're still a human having a 3D experience, but like just make sure that it is in alignment with like, who am I when I am serving something greater than myself, when I'm believing that there's sort of like this cosmic reasoning behind my existence. You know what I mean?
Something that you pointed out on just, the beautiful, graphic for this live was like really kind of get back to like your why. And I think that that is like so, so important, because when we can really be so intentional and direct in our why, it's like everything else just shifts.
Oh, 100%. And another podcast, I'm listening to so many podcasts, it's like actually ridiculous. I was listening
Me too.
like a podcast junkie right now, and podcast with Oprah, obviously. And she talked about how like we're very on our doing, but like it's so important that we stand in full awareness of our being, and that our doing is sort of like a funnel from our being rather than like doing things mindlessly. And so it's very important that we're aware of like, who am I in my essence? How do I offer my gifts just by the way that I stand, by the words that I say, by the energy that I bring when I walk into a room? And how can then the work that I do, or the creative projects that I give birth to, how can that be stemmed from who I am, right? So that's like a really large.
I love that though. Because I remember that, like, for me, I had that, teaching moment with my mentor, David G, where I was really nervous. I was about to do this like amazing, big kind of presentation, if you will. Hello. And I was like, I'm a little bit nervous. He's like, all you have to do is show up. That's all you have to do. And just embody your intention and your energy. And that really shifted me to take the pressure off of, what am I going to say? How is this going to be received? And really actually having a more grounding, energetic check-in of like, what energy do I want to ripple out?
Yes. Yeah. If there's any like prompt that I would invite you to journal on, it's not about like, how am I going to manifest all these things through what I do, but rather like, how am I going to call in the things in the life that I deserve? Because they're a vibrational match with who I am being. If I'm being honest in my essence, in my words, am I living authentically so that everything that aligns with my authenticity finds me effortlessly? I think that's the energy of today, is really connecting to who we are outside of conditioning, outside of survival, outside of fear, outside of performance, and rather just like, who am I to the core? And can I stand in that so loudly that all of the opportunities and relationships and circumstances and places and adventures and experiences find me sort of vibrationally, because I'm magnetizing them to myself.
Exactly. And I think that what I've found is like, when you're truly in full alignment, it's almost like things feel less forced, where it is a lot of perhaps effort and work. And like, don't get me wrong, I mean, this is totally my purpose, where I'm living and being a spiritual entrepreneur. But I've realized that the one difference I would say compared to even other careers that I've had is that I haven't forced anything in this process. I've literally let my purpose be my own medicine. And in that space, that's where it's really allowed me to just have the sense of course, working for it, but also it working for me.
Oh my God. If I could like drive a hate campaign against effort, and like, I want to say that, like welcomes and invites challenge. Like, I love challenge. I think it's how we deepen and how we grow. But like, if something is just fighting you back, there's friction. If you are constantly having to push through frustration or effort, or like, okay, I have to do this thing today, instead of like waking up so excited that you exist. Mind you, there's accessibility there, there's circumstances there, but ultimately, when you are so committed to living in your truth and to creating a life that honors your truth, it's going to be easy in how it feels energetically, right? It may mean that you have difficult conversations, that you let people go, because the thing about it is, when you're in alignment, that doesn't mean every single day feels like,
yes, like, oh my gosh, yes.
But it's rather, it's a choiceful commitment to living in your truth, and it is acceptance of all the emotions that come alongside that, right? It's like, even I talk a lot about body image, and like, radically loving your body sometimes looks like just accepting what it looks like today, if it's bloated, if it's, and so when your life is a little bloated, accept it and love it and respond to it, rather than, you know what I mean?
Totally. I love that.
I've been wanting to work on letting go. Oh my God, yes.
One thing I want to offer before we get right in is like, because you put something really beautiful into perspective, like, I've been really trying to reframe the narrative of I get to, right? So I have to clean, I have to meditate, I have to do this, where it's like, what if we actually just were to change the have to get? And that holds a whole different frequency of gratitude. Like that I am able to like get to clean my house because I have a house, because I'm able to even be physically well enough. So that's where I've been really trying to be mindful of whenever I'm like, oh, I have to do this thing or whatever. Because we can get so caught up in that, where if you can just say, I get to, it's like, whoa, that's a way for us to really kind of like look at it as, how do we even want to go about doing that thing?
Yes, honestly. And I think my dog is like, and I think what's so beautiful about it is that you can, just like the active choice to change the dialogue around the dialogue around what we get to experience on our every single day makes, and also I would bring that attention to like our inner dialogue as well, like how you to yourself and keep, you know, the affirmations that you say to yourself on a day, build your conscious, your circle, you know, render.
Ooh, you're breaking up for me. Might be my internet. I might have to relocate. Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Okay, we're back.
Oh, iconic. Well, that was basically it. And also I want to say that I saw a comment about I'm working on letting things be easy, and I would really, really, really invite you when we're doing this meditation, and also in any way that you work with this lunar transit today, when you are manifesting, let that be what you manifest, because I think, oh, audio is breaking up. Should I? Okay.
You were, and now you're okay. I'm telling you, it's like that kind of day. So like, let us know if it's okay now.
I'm gonna hold it. Yeah, let us know if you can hear. But overall, manifesting that life is allowed to be easy is so important, because I think that when we are just in the space of like survival and manifestation and accumulation, that we think it's supposed to be difficult, and we have this like belief in this conditioning that we like need to work so hard for the things that we want. And when we just allow ourselves to like accept that things can be easy, what a transformative experience when it comes to manifesting. But before we even, I also want to say, we're not just going to talk the whole time. We're going to do a meditation, and there'll be Reiki involved. But I know you said that you wanted to recommend some crystals.
Yeah. So please. I wanted to hear maybe to see if you would like to maybe share some, you know, insight, because I literally just like looked at this beautiful post for today's live, and I just was inspired to choose these crystals. But I would love if you know, you feel called to share the energetic themes as I go over each crystal. Does that work? Okay.
Yes. Wait, do you go first or I go first?
Whatever you want. I'm on your live, so this is your world. You invited me here, and I'm honored to be here. So yeah.
Crystal then, and I'll see how it connects, because it will for sure.
So the first one that I chose was Mookaite. I absolutely love this crystal, and part of the reason that this crystal is so special to me is because it helps to raise your vitality physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and also helps to ground you in that vitality. So I saw something about how you posted where it's like, you know, to like let ourselves also be physically supported in this new moon. And so this is a really powerful crystal to kind of help you to listen to your body, but how your body connects to your emotions and how it also connects to your thoughts.
That's it. That's literally it. Can I just say how aligned that is? Because I think two major points about it. The first one being, please cultivate an intimate dialogue with your body on an emotional, physical, and spiritual level. And what I mean by that is that if you know you need rest, if you know you need play, if you know you are in a season of creation or receiving, being so honest with yourself and not forcing your body into an era that it doesn't want to organically move into, so that you're not like pulling any muscles that aren't stretched enough, right? And I think also another gorgeous component to honoring our body right now is that because this is such a lunar transit centered on divinity and on spirituality and how we see and experience God, it's also worth noting that we are a piece of God. And so we want to make sure that we are treating ourselves as our own altars, and we're making offerings to our bodies in a way that is so intentional, the same way that we would sort of honor a goddess or God. You know what I mean? So understand that, like, if you are cultivating a routine that is centered on your spiritual wellness, on meditation, on movement, on being intentional with what you're putting into your body, you're making offerings of love and wellness and beauty to yourself.
And that is such a loud communication to the universe of how much you honor your energy and your body and your temple. And that allows for more opportunities to nourish and strengthen that to arrive to you. So yes, that makes sense.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. And then another one that I had, actually, because I feel like this just flows, is Carnelian. And the thing is that Carnelian is the stone of motivation. And I remember that you had shared something about like your why, right? And so what I love about Carnelian is it helps us to tap into the why, but how to actually make it applicable into action in the 3D world. So for a lot of us, like, you know, people who are dreamers, people who are really kind of creating a vision, this is a crystal that supports that sacral chakra energy of creation, and it helps you to stay motivated. It helps you to kind of move through even some maybe burnout, but it will help you to kind of bring down, how do I take my why into action? And so that's kind of where I thought for this new moon.
Yes, that's it. Especially because this is, and let me know if you hear me. I put my
Yeah. You sound great. Yeah.
This is such a new moon that is like delicious for creation. And I work with Carnelian a lot when I'm like creating anything, because I feel like it connects me to my sacral chakra, and that's kind of where we give birth. But if you have, and I'm speaking to myself, if you have any struggle with identifying as an artist, as a creator, this is the moon and the lunar transit where you can like work through that in a way that is so liberating. So if there's any insight that you need on like, what can I create? How can I stand in a form of artistry, you know, as a creation, creating? Connect to what you did as a child and what you did unconditionally for fun. I was like, I used to make graphics for fun, so people would put that on their MySpace pages. Like, that is fun for create graphics. And so really like allowing yourself to tap into your creative energy in a way that is not bound by how people see this, how people receive this, how can I monetize that, but rather just creating from the sake, for just the sole sake of creation is super important right now.
I love that, because it's almost like creativity with freedom, with no expectation. How beautiful is that?
Oh my gosh, beautiful. Okay, so crystals or dweeb?
Yeah, I have one more. So I have one more, which is interesting because you're wearing this color, of course, and you're in this crown chakra vibe, because, you know, you talked about bigger picture. And so for me, I feel like when we're not in the bigger picture, we're out of alignment in our crown chakra. We are overwhelmed. We're not really focused. We don't really are allowing ourselves to tap into the expansion. And so a crystal, purple fluorite. Oh, my internet must have just gone down for a second. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like, it's raining, so my internet's like, woo! Okay. But this is a
Ooh. This is why creativity yoga, karma yoga. I'd love to learn more. Jess is, guys, she's breaking up for me a little bit. Which is funny because you're bringing up, I feel like crown chakra work always messes up internet. Oh. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see her? Is it me? Not an, if it doesn't rain all day. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna call her. Okay, she's reconnecting now. We're doing our best, babe. Oop. Oh, I lost Jess, guys. Do you guys see Jess? Is it just me? Does anyone hear me? She's frozen. Okay. Well, she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back because I do want to know the rest about the amethyst. But I'm also wearing amethyst. Okay, let me call her back in. But in the meantime, after she's finished, what we're going to do is actually go into the meditation. So if you want to sort of make your space in any way more sacred, if you want to burn in incense, thank you for saying you love the eyeshadow. If you want to gather some crystals, especially if you have any crystals that she mentioned, please call those in. Okay, great. I'm glad you guys hear me. I'm going to call her in, and if it works, that would be great because she's going to give us some Reiki love while we meditate. Okay, invite. Let us see. But yes, make your space as comfortable, as sacred, as intentional. Yes, we've got purple. Like if there's any color that you work with, if you are into color healing, working with purple today is going to be the most optimal. Also indigo, some blue vibes. And then we can get started. I'm going to see if we can get Jess back. Oh, thank you. That means the absolute world. Listen, it wouldn't be Piscean energy if there wasn't any internet connection errors. Okay, but thank you guys for sticking through, and I hope that you're at least preparing your like space right now. Gorgeous. Okay, so we'll see if she accepts that. I have my pink shirt. Oh, we love it. We love it. Honestly, this is so about self-love. I want to see if there's any points that we didn't mention while I see if she can reconnect. Overall, though, yes, detox from what doesn't honor your fullest potential on a physical, mental, and spiritual level. Hydrate today. Think as largely and as expansively as you can. If you have any limitations placed on the fullest form and the fullest embodiment of your desires and your manifestations, now is the time to stand in that, honey. Manifest without limitations. And yeah, are you treating your mind, body, and soul and energy like a temple? That's the motherfucking tea right there. Okay, this is my last shot at getting Jess back on. If not, we can just move into the meditation. And if she jumps back in, iconic. Let's see. And I'm gonna have some background music as well. If you have any music or any ambient sound that you want to add into your physical environment, please do that. Great. Yes. And if you have any of the crystals that she mentioned, please pull those in. I have labradorite, which she didn't mention, but I love working with labradorite anytime I'm like doing any third eye work. But yes. Okay. Request to join. Gorgeous. So we can get into the meditation then, and if Jess is able to connect in the meantime, then she'll definitely still give us some Reiki love. So wherever you are, like I said, get your environment comfortable. We can begin to move the body with some intentionality. Especially if this is your first intentional movement of the day, just stretching out the body, rolling the neck, shaking out anything that feels stagnant or stuck. Breathing some life into your body, and when you're ready, you can meet me at your center. Let me know if the audio is fine, if you can hear me. Oh, there we go. I'll get Jess back in. Beautiful. Perfect timing. Meeting me at your center, I invite you to take one deep, full breath in through the nose, filling up the chest completely. Holding on to that breath. And exhaling. Once again, breathing in through the nose, filling up the chest completely. Staying at home within that breath. And exhaling. One last time, taking in a deep breath, filling up your chest fully. Sitting with it. And exhaling fully. And as we sit a bit deeper in our bodies, allow your breath to return to its own organic rhythm. Just simply being in a state of noticing, of witnessing, of observing. If there are any sounds that you are hearing or sensations on your skin,
witnessing it all. And if there's any physical space in your body that you feel like is holding on to emotional tension, I invite you to not only bring your awareness here, but your hands. Massaging or placing, whatever intuitively feels right. Just sending yourself love. And in your mind's eye, as your hands organically fall wherever they feel the most comfortable, I invite you to arrive at your favorite space in nature. Whether it's a place you've been to before, a place your soul has visited, where do you feel the freest, the safest, the most connected to whatever you define divinity and God to be? Experience the physicality of being here, any sounds, any textures, any smells. Divine beauty of this space. I'll now give us a moment to call in our guides, our ancestors, our angels. Whatever goddesses, whatever higher selves you work with. Call in the team beyond the veil that has been guiding you and protecting you and encouraging you. All that have the highest love and intention for you. And alongside our guides, I invite us to call in the energy of Jupiter, this planet, the celestial body that has been influencing us since eons, as a planet that rules expansion, abundance, largeness. Not largeness to impress, but largeness to expand. This is the energy we're going to work with today. With the company of our guides, with our higher self, with Jupiter, let's begin to see ourselves in the fullest versions of our potential. Starting with who we are creatively. What do you want to give birth to in this incarnation? With no limits, with no bounds. Immerse yourself in the physicality of this visualization, seeing yourself creating it, smelling your tools, witnessing how it not only fulfills you but impacts others. What is the largest version of you being in your creative power? Seeing yourself in this orange sacral energy, this energy of creation, of fertility, giving birth to new ideas, new identities. What does it feel like to be limitless when it comes to what you create? Moving on to love. What is the fullest version of love that you are calling into your life? What are you allowing yourself to feel so deserving of? Witness it in your external relationships, but also the relationship that you have with you. What happens when you allow yourself to feel worthy and deserving of the largest love possible? Where you don't settle, where you don't ask for bare minimum, but where you let yourself be loved at full capacity. And when you love yourself at full capacity. What does it physically feel like to embody, emit, attract, experience, and emit the fullest forms of love? To witness it, to receive it, to give it, to filter all decisions through it. Moving now into identity. Living our lives fully means living our lives honestly, radically authentically. What does life look like when you know who you are and you show up as such? When you stand in the truth of who you are in every conversation, in every meeting, in every instance, in every experience, in every relationship, when you are true, what does this version of you wear? What do they say? What do they do for work? What do they spend their time doing with no limitations? Are there relationships that arrive now that you're in your truth? Are there relationships that no longer exist or are fed into? What does your energy communicate to a room when you enter it? When you live in the boundless experience of honoring your authenticity? And when it comes to career, how we stand in our work, can you allow yourself to feel deserving of the largest accolades, the most deserving recognition, receiving the financial abundance that you deserve on a maximum scale, having the largest possible reach and impacting the most people that take nectar from what you do? What does that feel like? What does it look like? See yourself proud of yourself. In competition with no one but you. In a way that encourages and grows. In a way that's supportive and not hyper self-critical. See you approaching your career with expansion and fluidity and discipline and commitment. What does your day-to-day routine look like when you are creating from an expansive place? When you are living in alignment with your truth? Where your work and recognition reflect your sense of boundless self-worth, unconditional self-worth. And lastly, working with the children that live within us. See yourself living the freest life possible. However you define liberation, liberation of words, of time, what happens when you live a life of play, where are you traveling to? How do you physically express yourself? What does the freest day-to-day routine look like? We'll sit in this energy for a couple more breaths, and I invite you to be wild, boundless, limitless, and expansive with what you visualize your life that is free and large to feel and taste like. If you can see it on a physical level, it is within reach on a 3D, intangible level. These are lives that we through our inner dialogues, through the relationships that we feed, through the aligned action that we take, married with the trust that we have in a universe we're co-creating with. Breathing into our heart spaces, and exhaling. Affirm either out loud or to yourself, I am creating the life that I love. I am unconditionally deserving. I emit, attract, and embody love. I emit, attract, and embody abundance. I am deserving of my desires. I am living the richest and fullest life possible. Thanking our guides for journeying with us. Thanking Jess for the Reiki love we just received, and thanking you for showing up. I affirm that all of the intentions, manifestations, and visualizations that we just embarked on will come into full fruition in the highest good of all those involved. Time is not separate from us, it moves through us. There's nowhere to arrive to, only a self-garden to water and nurture so that it grows into our dreams and into our manifestations. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. You can begin to move back into the body. Ooh, girl.
I didn't want to come back from that.
Me either. I was like, let's just stay here. I'll lower the music. Whoever, if anyone has any things that I'm so meditation drunk. Share anything if you want to share, but Jess, I'm sure you had some downloads that you'd love to.
Yeah, I mean, like that was probably one of my favorite meditations you've done. And I have to say that like I've witnessed and been a part of a lot of them. So I say that in like the most loving way because I love them all. But like something about that one, like you were in zone. You know what I mean? Like you were like, I don't know where you took me, but I wasn't here. Do you know what I mean? Like, between the epic technology fail that happened on my end over here, and then I just like jumped back into that, it was like, okay, like whatever, you know? And so I mean that like the most loving way of like, that was beyond divine.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Yes, it will be safe for anyone who missed it. But oh my God, I was feeling your Reiki the entire time. So thank you.
There was like one point where I was like sending it specifically like to you too, but just a couple messages for the collective because you know, that's where it's at. So it's so funny because I actually had to like check out the meaning of this animal because I've never channeled this animal before. So this is brand new. So anybody who's out there, I actually am I channel different animals. They are my greatest spirit guides. I actually have my animal and chakra oracle deck. It's here. You can
Oh
put
my
link in
gosh,
my.
I'm dying about this deck. I'm dying about it. Wait, can we?
So
I'm on the wait list.
yeah, so you're on the wait list. It will probably hopefully be here. I'm thinking in like 3 weeks. That's exciting. I'll pull a card at the very end. But so the animal kingdom works within me, and like this next animal is definitely going to be a part of the expansion part of my deck. But this animal came through in Jasmine. This couldn't be more perfect to what this animal is like representing for this new moon, because the animal that came through, and I'm connecting it because it told me to, is the rat, and it's the sacral chakra. And what it means is actually to explore the unexplored areas of your creativity.
Ooh.
So where have you perhaps been constricting yourself? Where have you not explored some of the creative pursuits that you would really like to? That's really what the rat is representing. So it's shifting from the fear, shifting from perhaps the even pressure, and just letting yourself be in that space. So a lot of energy, I was doing a lot of clearing in the third eye, the heart, and the solar. But what we have here is actually the first message is in our third eye. I am intuitive. So this is the color healing tea that would totally help you to align. So definitely check that out and get yourself one if you haven't already, from Jasmine. But the first message here is, where are you not letting yourself trust in not only the bigger picture, but the clarity in the bigger picture? So this is the affirmation for us to really be utilizing with your journaling prompts would be something I would invite them to, everybody who's here, to, you know, utilize these journaling prompts, but maybe first just say this affirmation: Spirit, show me the clarity in my biggest picture.
Oh my.
Spirit, show me the clarity in my biggest picture. And then do the journaling prompts that you've provided, because there's a sense of like seeing it, like not just in the state when you go underwater and like you open your eyes and things are cloudy, but like being able to see it so like crisp. And I was asking why, and I was brought to the sacral chakra. And this is interesting because we have done so much releasing. Now we get to do the replacing. So we've released ways of being in this pandemic. We've released tears. We've released happiness. I mean, there's so much going on, even right now, currently, that right now, with all of this releasing, something to really perhaps offer yourself today is, what are 3 sacred releases that you have perhaps put in motion? And now what are you replacing that release with?
I wish my journal was near me. Okay, I'm going to rewatch this. This is so
Welcome to spirit and welcome to your energy, because this is like all aligned with like you and the energetic theme. So the framework is already there. So thank you. And then the root, you ready for this one? Get grounded in growth. Get grounded in growth, right? And it's the overall message here is, I ground in the possibilities. It's not just being like, I see the possibility. It's actually, this new moon is like offering this almost like seed planting of grounding in it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And grounding, I feel like is the aligned action, like the steps that you can take on a physical and tangible level, while working with like the knowingness that if I'm able to expand my vision of what that larger picture is, and it's so important that you brought up like trusting in the clarity of it, because I think when we ask for specifics, that fear tends to come up of like, what, can I go that high? Can I have a thing that large? That typically happens for other people, or like, so clarity and trusting your clarity, trusting the specifics of what you are calling in, and taking the aligned action when it comes to that co-creation, I think is, oh my God, so aligned, so aligned. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I'll close with a card reading. So just really quickly from my deck. Oh, so I shed to grow, root chakra, beliefs, snake. Yeah, healing. And so this is where it's so interesting because you think about this on a new moon, but there's something about this, exactly what you just said, grounding, where it's like exactly what you just said. That's why I gotta say, like, I'm so excited for this deck because it's like so on point, but it's literally just reiterating where it's like that we've maybe felt like, oh, like that's too much, that's too high. So if you have been doing that, this is where the snake's energy is coming through to say, like, shed that belief, because shedding that belief is part of your healing.
I have no words. I have no words.
So good.
Val, who's my like gorgeous and my incredible friend who's commenting, she and I have just been talking about snakes so much. Snakes are so symbolic right now, and they embody so much, but I think it's this element of rebirth and understanding exactly what you were saying about we've done so much processing of shedding. And it's understanding that in the death of who we were, of the fears we built comfort in, and in the ways which we've stayed small for survival or fear, what are we now going to plant? What are the seeds that we're going to plant in this sacred space that we've made for ourselves? And understanding that that sacred space is going to bloom when we stand firmer in our truth, when we align ourselves with our authenticity, and when we're radically expansive with what it is that we are calling in and no longer placing limitations on our worth or deservingness of it. So I just, all in all, this was, I mean, anytime I get to work with you, I can't. I love you.
It's always, I think every time we do this, we're like, why don't we do this more often? That's right. We always end up saying.
Months. But we are going to be doing something for the spring equinox, guys. We're going to be doing a little workshop, so stay tuned for that. If you from my end and you don't follow Jess, what are you doing, babe? Follow her. She's an incredible Reiki artist, and everything that you do and put out is so honest and true and like radically expansive. So definitely check her out. Thank you guys for joining. I hope that you spend the rest of your day committed to your spiritual wellness, to your play, to your creation.
I know. I was like, what's the advice? What do I do with the rest of the day, Jasmine?
Yes.
Tell me.
Play, create, come back to wherever you see God. So if you see God in the kitchen, if you see God at your altar, if you see God in a park, at a beach, go there, stay there, move with your body intuitively. And yeah, just thank you guys for showing up. If you missed any part of this, I'll be sharing it because the meditation was girl. The meditation.
I'm going to come back to just doing that on my own for selfish reasons. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys soon. I love you, Jess. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you for having me here. I love you so much.
I canceled all my meetings today. Period, queen. Okay.